Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Elevate Wellness. I am Coach Latanya. I have over 20 years in the fitness and wellness space, and every day I help people online achieve their fitness and wellness goals through programs, products, and services. And today I want to share with you my personal weight loss journey. I like to call it my fat loss journey. So if you're interested in that topic and you're curious, stay tuned. Weight loss is more than calories in, calories out, and so I have papers here where I actually tracked my progress because it was frustrating in the beginning, especially because I didn't really understand where my body was at the moment. So I turned 48 a few months ago, and in April, and at every decade of life, you may notice, women, you may notice, I believe this is true for men too, but every decade you may notice that your body will start to shift a little bit. So that means that the things you used to do may not work, it may not be as effective as it used to. Especially once you start to get over 35, 45, you'll notice your body starts to change a little bit because of the hormone levels and things like that. Once we get into that age range, our bodies are more sensitive to stress. So cortisol can be elevated quite easily, actually more easier than in our earlier years. And so it does not mean in your 60s and 70s and 80s, because I work with 60s, 70s, and 80-year-olds. It does not mean that your body cannot change. It means that the way we approach that has to be different, especially if you're training the same way you did in your 20s. All right, so I'm going to be sharing this journey with you, and I want to make mention that, and you hear me say this also, weight loss and fat loss are a little bit different, because I did not want to lose weight, because when we take that approach, 500 calorie deficit, a lot of times that's a little bit too extreme. And what happens is our body will compensate by losing muscle as well, okay? And we can lose about 37-40% of muscle with that type of weight loss strategy, right? So if we are really cutting down our calories to about 1,500 calories, which I've heard people doing that, 1,200 to 1,500 calories, and the more muscle you have, the more you burn around the clock, whether you're exercising or not. It takes more of it, your body uses more energy when it has more muscle. So that means that as we get into our 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s, we start to notice that we're naturally losing muscle anyway. So if you're naturally losing muscle and then you go on a diet to lose weight, and some of that weight is also muscle, what you find is that it's easier to put that weight back on just as quickly as you took it off. So it's important that we implement healthy habits over time that we can live with, right? We can live with walking more. We can live with mindfulness. We can live with reducing stress. Those are habits we're going to need. We can live with sleeping 7 to 8 hours. Some people need 9 hours. Everyone's a little bit different. It really depends on your lifestyle. But those are the things that we can live with. We can do that long term. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. So my weight loss journey, my fat loss journey actually started when I saw this photo of myself, and it's the one in the orange shirt with my husband. And you can see it in my face that the way my body looked didn't match up with the way I saw myself. I want to feel good about me, for me. Okay, so that was around October, November, and then the holidays came, and that was a pretty stressful time. So I was just trying to figure things out at that point. So I don't even think I started my weight loss journey, my fat loss journey, until about maybe February, around February. And I have some pictures there. So I'll show you what I looked like in February. So it was in February that I really could not get a handle on. The workouts wasn't working, because I want to also make mention that when I was doing this, I was not working out. I was working out 5 to 6 days a week. And that would be 20 to 30 minutes on the elliptical machine in addition to weight training. And sometimes I would do chest tries, back bis, legs. I would do about 3 to 4 days of lifting, and I would do cardio. So I was doing 5 to 6 days of cardio, 5 to 6 days of working out and lifting heavy. Okay, so that was not working and was not budging, and I found myself getting up to about 156 pounds. Now, 156 pounds really is not a lot of weight, but for my frame it is, and I've never been that heavy before. So my frame is a little bit different. The heaviest I think, you know, maybe when I was pregnant I was in my 150s, but I've always been on the leaner side. And so when I saw that I was up to 156, I knew 160 was just a few weeks away. So I knew I needed to do something, okay? And so that was around February. That's what you will see, those pictures. I made notes of what I was doing, and I just want to read a few of these entries, okay? So March 7th, 2022, I did chest, tries, and quads. I did 30 minutes of elliptical. I walked my dog, Cody Pock. And I did some work in the yard. I love yard work. It helps me to clear my mind, so I did that. And I got 8 hours of sleep, and I weighed in at 150 pounds, 0.6. Okay, so then very next day, I got 6 hours of sleep. I was exhausted on Tuesday, and I think because I did so much the day before, my adrenals kicked in, and these are the things I started to learn. Okay, and so the very next day I was up to 151.4 because of the lack of sleep, because I was tired from the day before, and okay, and so my weight was elevated. So I didn't understand, why is it elevated when you know, just a day later? It's not like I'm eating so much more or anything like that, right? And so I went on this journey on March 13th to March 13th, which is, what is that? 6 days later, okay? I'm still 150.6 pounds, and I did 30 minutes of circuit training, and yeah, 30 minutes of circuit training. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. So on March 24th, I weighed in at 150.6 pounds. I had 1,674 calories. That's how much I was eating. And I did HIIT training, because I'm trying to vary the training to see exactly what is working. Okay, and so when I went on MyFitnessPal, it showed me, another thing I did was I underestimated how active I was. So on MyFitnessPal, based on that entry, it said that I needed to eat about close to 1,700 calories in order to drop the weight. So I was doing about 1,680, 1,670 to about 1,750 or something like that, 1,700 calories in order to drop the weight. And it worked some days and it backfired other days. So on April 1st, 2022, I weighed in at 148, okay? 148.8. I did 30 minutes, and I did a flow dance. I did 30 minutes of dance with light weights, and I was down to 148.8. That was interesting to me, because all of that time I had been doing 5 to 6 days a week of working out, doing all of the things, and the weight was not moving. It was 150.2, 150.4, 150.6. It really was not budging, okay? And when I did that, I was pretty, why that? And the very next day, April 2nd, 2022, I weighed in again at 148.8. I didn't work out that day, but I had 1,807 calories. So I actually had more calories and lost more weight. So that was another, it sparked my interest. Okay. Now, when we go to May 23rd, right? Because that's about a month later. Yeah, the next month, I weighed in 147 pounds. I took in 1,799 calories, and I had over 5,000 steps. So again, I'm seeing that instead of doing every time I walk and get steps in, I dance, my weight is continuously going down and making sure that I'm getting more calories in. So I had 1,799, basically 1,800 calories, as opposed to the 1,600, because when I was doing the 1,670, close to 17, I was not losing anything. If anything, I'd be elevated the next couple days, especially if I was tired, especially if I was, you know, it was a long day, or I didn't sleep enough. My body was holding on to that weight. So I found that, okay, the 1,700 calories is a little too low for me. And so my body's just holding on to everything. So when I say these things, it's not that I haven't experienced it myself. I've seen it in my own journey as well as others. When we undereat, we actually compromise our weight, our fat loss. Okay. Now, on 2 days later, no, let me go back to, here we go, in June. Okay. So June 2022, I made it down to 146.6. I had not been down that low since I had COVID in 2020. And 146, 145 was the weight that was how much I weighed after COVID. Okay, so I had not been down that low. And before that, I hadn't been down in the 140s for several years. Okay, now at this time, it's important to make note that I was getting in about 7 to 10,000 steps, and I was eating 1,900 calories. So again, I'm not working out, I'm not participating in these intense hour. Before that also, I was working out about an hour and a half, okay? I was doing my 30 minutes of cardio, and I was working out for an hour with lifting, okay? So I stopped doing that. I cut my workout back to about 40, 45 minutes, which is 30 minutes of cardio, followed by about 10 to 15 minutes of circuit training, weights, and things like that. And the weight started to come down. So it was about June when the weight was consistently coming down. I went 6,000 steps, some lifting. That has what's really been working for me. And what I found was, what I learned about myself is that if I'm not getting my 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, I'm exhausted, my body's not fully recovered, and that is going to cause my weight to be elevated the next day. And it's usually about 1.5 pounds. And it takes me about 2 days for the cortisol levels to kind of settle down, and then my weight is back to normal. So I give myself grace. It's not really about the weight on the scale for me. It's why the weight is on the scale. That's what's more important. That's the question. Why am I weighing this? What is going on with my body that is causing the weight to be elevated? Okay. And so, for example, in May 7th, I weighed in at 148.2, but I went to the movies and I had nachos, and I got an 11,000 steps. So although I ate out, the very next day I had 2 slices of pizza, which is 2,100 calories, and I weighed in at 148.0. So you see how it's not making sense? If I am eating pizza and I'm eating movie, and this is 2 days in a row, a lot of times that will throw someone off, especially if they're counting calories. You can't afford to have 2 slices of pizza and the day before have nachos at the movies, because your body will gain that weight back. And this is what I say. When we are on a weight loss journey, we are compromising that muscular tissue, right? We're decreasing the muscle. And 30 to 40% of muscle loss we can actually experience, and that is going to have a direct effect on how well we metabolize food. So even today, I can go and I'm pretty much at my goal. I'm at my cushion weight. It's the summertime, and I'm not really focused on the number I would like to see is about 137. I want to get out of the 140s, only because I like to have that cushion. So right now I'm at 140, 140.6. I'm at 140, right? So anywhere between 140 to 137, something like that is good. I don't even say I need 3 pounds to lose, because once summer is over and I'm walking again, that 3 pounds is gone again. So I'm basically at my weight. And what happened was I lost about 20 pounds, okay? So right now I'm at a 16-pound deficit, but when I'm back at my 136, it's, what is that, 20 pounds? 20-pound weight loss. Now, I also want you to check on this. If you Google how many pounds do I need to lose to drop 3 sizes, on average it's 30 to 40 pounds. But I dropped 3 sizes and I only had to lose 20. Why is that? This is muscle, right? It's more compact. And this is not muscle. This is when you're just counting calories. So this is when you count calories, right? It's light, it's airy. This is when you participate in weight training. This is when you participate in stress management, reducing cortisol levels. This is what it looks like. I have some pictures that I'm also going to plug in as well, so you can see the difference. You can see the difference in my face, in my eyes, in my cheeks, even in my skin. I did not hate my body, and that's important to understand. I did not hate my body. I love my body at every stage, but I needed to understand what was it that my body needed. I believe, as a wellness coach, that if you really want to lose weight, focus on healing first. Healing whatever it is, whatever system, whatever tissues need to be regenerated, that is important. Your digestive system, your gut, your emotions, right? All of those things. When you heal that, the weight will start to come down. And sometimes it can take 3 months, it can take 4 months, it can take a minute. I think I started this journey around January, but I didn't really start to see anything until about March. Okay, it was in March that I weighed myself and I was 150. But before that, right after the holidays, I was up to 156. Okay, I also want to make mention that it took me about 15 months to drop 20 pounds. The reason why is because every month may not be weight loss. For me, what I found is, I find this not only to be true for myself, but many of the people I've worked with in the past and even now, we don't lose weight and inches at the same time. We lose weight, then we drop inches. We lose weight, and then we drop inches. And if you think about that, losing weight is the sum total of your body weight, but losing inches is when you are reducing size, right? That skin has to get tighter. That muscle has to fill in, that muscle has to rejuvenate. Like, even you can see the tone in my arms now, a little bit more tone than what it was, because my body is still changing. I'm still working on me. That's a project that is a lifelong journey. Okay, so enjoy the journey, embrace the journey. Don't try to rush it, but learn what you need to learn about your body in this decade, right? Because every decade it's going to change. It's going to change a little bit, okay? And I do have my treat days. I hate that word cheat, because to cheat is to do something that's wrong. And it's not wrong to enjoy food. It's not wrong to enjoy a pizza or cake or cookies. That's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not bad. You weren't being bad because you had a cookie, right? You can enjoy those things. You're treating yourself, but it's important to understand what is it that I need to put in place so that I can avoid the overindulging. Indulgence is fine, but overindulgence is something we want to work on, right? Eating is fine, but undereating is something we want to work on. So you want balance. So it's not about the calories in, calories out. Yes, that does have some standing. It does have some relevance to it, but it's a combination of things. It's calories in versus calories out. When you are doing fat loss, it's important to understand too that when you go too low, you're really digging into or going into that muscle that you have. I recommend doing maybe a 200 calorie deficit, maybe a 200 calorie deficit, starting there, getting more activity in, right? Walking more, walking before work, maybe during lunch or after work, participating in some of my walking workouts because they get you in that body fat burning zone. Do those a few times a week. Let me know in the comments, have you experienced weight gain even when you're cutting calories, even when you're doing all of the things, you're eating right, you're eating the diet foods, you're staying on track, and you're still gaining weight? And for those of you who've already subscribed, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this community. Until next time, live beautiful.